Vancouver is known for sharp skylines and cool rides, but there's a new feature coming to town with modern sleek design, rounded steel doors, and a curved cap roof. Did I mention the hydraulics? That's right, for $645,000, this could be yours. Or at least something like this. Yes, this is a porta potty with a hefty price tag. City planners want to install the Portland Loo public toilet in Vancouver's Coopers Park.
Spending this much money on a toilet, which won't even be open probably for months, when people are struggling and people need financial assistance now, it just seems kind of inappropriate.
The announcement has many residents peed off at the price tag. With 18 public toilets scattered around Vancouver's downtown, the question is, do we need another one?
I don't necessarily think they shouldn't have the public toilets accessible. It just seems like the wrong time to spend this money.
But why is the price so high?
There's no water or sewer or power over there. So all those services have to be, put in.
And why this toilet?
They're supposed to be graffiti proof, so or the graffiti washes off really easily, so you don't have to use a lot of harsh chemicals. A lot of our washrooms are getting vandalized pretty regularly, and these are supposed to be like the tank of toilets, so they're supposed to be a lot less susceptible to vandalism.
This pricey washroom will soon be installed, with locations already in Terrace, Victoria, Nanaimo, Kamloops, and Smithers. So keep a lookout for a shiny new loo coming to your neighborhood. Robert Holden, BCIT News, Vancouver. It's been almost 85 years since Vancouver's Hollywood Theatre first opened its doors.
You go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Playing first-run films like Gone with the Wind and Casablanca, the community cinema allowed for a much-needed escape during the Depression.
We got Porky Pig and Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. So when they came on the screen, it was really a big cheer. We all hated the That's All folks at the end.
With changing tastes and the rise of home video, the Hollywood suffered shrinking profits, closing its doors permanently in 2011 after an emotional final screening of Cinema Paradiso.
Non ci pensare mai a noi. Non ti voltare, non scrivere.
But according to local historian Aaron Chapman, the community refused to forget.
Over Vancouver's history, we've seen so many theaters and nightclubs and cultural spaces disappear that this is a rare occasion where one is coming back.
Supporters worked for years to save the theater from demolition and were successful during summer 2018. The theater achieved heritage status and announced it would reopen as a multi-use cultural space under new management.
There's going to be a mix of cultural programming, and you kind of have to do that in today's age. The idea that a place like this can just show movies is kind of a thing of the past.
With changing times comes different venue requirements, but some theatergoers prefer things the way they were.
A developer is redeveloping it, and we're all anxious to see that he keeps it as original as possible.
However the new Hollywood ends up, Chapman remains confident attitudes have changed towards preservation after another beloved theater, The Ridge, closed in 2013.
Sometimes one place has to go, it seems, for people to realize, hey, we better hold on to what we have that might also go, and there seemed to be a real push to try and keep the Hollywood that the Ridge Theater didn't necessarily have.
Until this fall, that's all, folks. Robert Holden, BCIT Magazine, Vancouver. Jack Darkus has owned Darkus Studio Gallery on Granville Island since 2000, but his 20th year in business has been a tough one.
Oh, it's very different. I haven't sold a painting in a year. I've learned over the years that if I finish something, eventually, mysteriously, it sells to somebody.
His business has taken a big hit from COVID-19. Granville Island's art galleries rely on foot traffic to stay afloat. Without cruise ships or wine tours, Karen Cooper's gallery is listing.
We've lost at least 70% of our customers. Walk-by customers, we've lost at least 90%. The people that used to be coming here are gone.
The island reported $14 million in revenue for 2018, but according to a survey conducted in summer 2020, 55% of businesses have laid off staff and 65% of businesses have closed.
Don't forget, this island was the second largest tourist destination after Niagara Falls.
The massive loss of visitors begs the question, are any businesses seeing stability during this time?
Unless you're Lee's Donuts.
There is a way for the public to help. BC Buy Local Week is on now till December 6th. This celebration helps showcase locally owned businesses and aims to keep money circulating in the community.
The big thing is to get local people to know that Granville Island is an island full of unique and different artists, that you don't have to go to Europe to buy incredible artwork. It's right in Vancouver.
Artists are continuing to prepare as the Christmas season approaches. Many hope the new year will bring a vaccine and with it a new chapter for Granville Island. Robert Holden in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. At this Vancouver bedding shop, the seamstress is sewing full-time. Owner Jem Terra's in-bed organic shop has shifted gears due to COVID-19. Instead of making bedspreads, her seamstress is crafting medical masks.
We had all this fabric that's certified organic cotton, and so she designed them, and she came in and she sewed in the mornings and produced masks for the general public.
Tara has found a way to keep her seamstresses employed while also helping the community. She believes a pandemic is no excuse to neglect environmental issues.
And it's devastating, the throwaway attitude that the globe has, which I think is important that we start looking at sustainable products, longevity, as if we want to stay here.
But how urgent is a balance in the midst of a global pandemic? BCIT's Director of Institute Sustainability had this to say.
In sustainability with COVID-19, there's no problem trying to cope in the short term with what you've got immediately at hand. It's an emergency, it's a crisis. But after a month or 2 months or 3 months, we are now into a much longer emergency, and we need to start making some very important trade-offs.
In just over a month, the store has produced over 700 masks and recently signed multiple supply contracts.
They're popular. That's really all we're doing right now, is producing these masks.
The Canadian Special Committee to COVID-19 has determined wearing a non-medical mask can help prevent the spread of infection to others. Tara hopes the pandemic will change the conversation about sustainability as a whole, even in a time of crisis.
Robert Holden in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
In the short term, the people that we worry about are those that already have some kind of disease, heart and lung disease, because they don't have as much reserve, meaning that they can't tolerate as much of an insult before they run into serious clinical problems, things that'll bring them to medical attention. Whereas healthier people in the short term can actually tolerate these exposures fairly well. That's really one of my biggest concerns, that as these get longer and more consistent, then suddenly it's more of a threat to healthy people because they'll be exposed for months rather than days during each year.
He brought down councillors and mayors and other politicians down to Chinatown to show them around and show them, what Chinatown needed, and show them the problems in Chinatown, and show them that this is what has to be done if you want to get people back here.
When my parents came over, we shopped there every weekend, and it was bustling back then. And I've seen the decay and the falling apart of Chinatown, and I know exactly what Jack was trying to do. He was trying to revive it, bring back what we had 30, 40 years ago. And so that's very inspiring.
The building itself is only 4 feet and 10 inches, right here from wall to wall inside. whenever he went anywhere, that people recognized him. And so this legacy that he's created, we're here as his children and his sons and daughters-in-laws and all his grandchildren to basically keep Chinatown alive like he always wanted it to be.